Hi everybody, in today's video I want to talk a little bit about combining polishes, how I come up with color combinations, how I come up with combinations of like toppers and base coats. So a few of you have asked like how I kind of come to those conclusions and how I pick what I pick. And so basically I use the color wheel quite a bit. I've taken some color theory classes in the past. The color wheel is one of the easiest ways to kind of figure out what goes together and what doesn't. So a lot of you guys probably already know this, but there's three primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. All of these three colors are mixed to come up with what are called secondary colors. So red and yellow make orange, red and blue make purple, yellow and blue make green. So orange, purple, and green are secondary colors. And then there's something called a tertiary color. So basically, like I told you, red and yellow make orange, but you can have like a little bit more of like a red leaning orange or a yellow leaning orange. Red and blue make purple, but you can have more of like a red leaning violet or like a blue leaning purple. And then yellow and blue make green, but you can have more of like a yellow toned green or more of like a tealy, which would be a blue toned green. So that's sort of how all the colors come about. And then of course you can always add white or black to your colors to come up with a tint is what they call it. So basically, like you can add white to red to make pink. You can add white to blue to come up with more of those like pale baby blues. You can add white to yellow to come out with like more of like a chick colored yellow. And same thing goes with black. Black can be added to these colors as well to make things darker. And then of course white and black are mixed together to make gray. So that's kind of how all that works. And I have a color wheel here that I want to share with you guys because I thought it was really interesting. So this color wheel here, all the primary colors have a P on it. So you have the red, you have the blue, and you have the yellow. Then all the secondary colors are going to have an S. So you have green, purple, and orange. And then here you can see what are those territory colors, something like that. So here you can see you have like a teal. So here like you can see a T is one of those territory colors, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then you have like the purple, the magenta, more of a red orange, more of a yellow orange, and more of like a yellowy green. So basically how a color wheel works is anything opposite goes. Those are called complementary colors. And so all the primary colors are considered to go together. So if you were to pair these together, these colors are considered to go together. I feel like this combination is a little bit, it sort of reminds me of like kids. A lot of kids' toys, kids' rooms, kids' decoration, kids' clothes are like in these primary colors. And I think it's because they say kids recognize brighter colors first, so that's probably where that comes from. But like if you were to pair these together, they would go. I enjoy these types of combinations, but I know for some people those do feel like a little bit juvenile because they are more kid oriented. But like I was showing to you guys, anything opposite on the color wheel is what's considered complementary. So here you have like a purple and a yellow. Those will go together because they are complementary on the color wheel. So here you can see a purple and a yellow together. And I think that's a really pretty combination. So that would be considered a complementary color combination. Another complementary color combination is like more your traditional Christmas colors. Red and green are opposite on the color wheel from each other. And those obviously, you know, remind everybody of Christmas, but they go together. Another combination here you can see is going to be like a teal and an orange. Those would be considered complementary colors. And you can see there that works together really nicely. And you can go with various sort of tones of the colors, and for the most part they should work. So one side of the color wheel has all of your warm colors, which would be the orange, the red, the orange, and the yellow. Those are considered the warm colors. And then the cool colors are going to be the purples, the blues, and the greens. So when sometimes people talk about like warm leaning colors or cool leaning colors, that's what they're talking about. So like when I talk about a warm leaning red, I'm talking more about like a tomato based red. And then when I'm talking about like a cooler leaning red, I'm talking about a red that has a little bit more blue in it, which would pull it more to this sort of cooler side of the color wheel. So for the most part, complementary colors will go together, but sometimes you do have to factor in whether they're warm toned or cool toned. So you can see here, like this is a little bit more like washed out pastel. There's a lot of white added to these colors. This is more of like the color in its pure form, but they both go together. It works. So that's one way to come up with colors that go together is complementaries, which are opposite of each other on the color wheel. Then there's another way to come up with combinations, and those are called analogous colors, and those are side by side on the color wheel, but those combinations will also work. So you can see here, you can do like red and orange and yellow. Those look really, so you can see here, you can do red, orange, and yellow. Those look really nice together. That's also a color combination found in nature. Like if you think of fire and flames, and you stare at a fire, you'll find those colors. That's another way to really figure out what works. If something is found in nature, because God is the perfect artist, it's gonna more than likely translate into any kind of color thing that you want to do. Let's say you're doing paint, you're painting your nails, you're planning an outfit. If the color combination is found in nature, you're more than likely gonna be able to make it work in other aspects. And then like another thing here would be like red, purple, blue. Those go together. So let me show you some of those combinations just so you guys can see. So I have red, yellow, and orange. You can see that that looks very nice. And those are what are considered analogous. If I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm sorry, but analogous colors. And it's a nice combination. It works. And then let me show you some more with the teals and the greens. So the blues and greens are also next to each other on the color wheel. That looks really nice. You could even throw in this type of blue. That looks really nice together. Another way to find colors that really do work for you is going to be like a tonal effect or a ombre effect. And they call this like tint. So basically you have your first color here, which is like the darkest. Then they add a touch of white, they add a little more white, and then they add like the most amount of white. This type of combination always works well together. You can stick with 2, you can do only 3, you can do all 4. And I have a couple of more of these here to show you just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Here's a green. So here you have like more of the forest color, then you add a little white, you're getting into sort of like a grass color, and then here you almost have like a pastel. So this type of color combination also works because you're working in tones, and basically the undertone of the color is the same. You're just making it lighter by adding white into the combination. So here's another tonal effect. And then I kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about neutrals. So most basic neutrals include a gray, a brown, or tan. I didn't get a tan swatch, I'm sorry about that. And then obviously black and white. I want to add one more color into the neutral category, and for me that's a navy blue. So I pulled some polishes just to kind of show you guys sort of what I'm talking about in regards to neutrals, and then what you find in nature and the tonal look. So for my neutral polishes, I have a Wet n Wild white, I have an LA Colors black, I have this CoverGirl navy blue, I have a Sally Hansen gray, I have a Sinful Colors sort of tannish brown, I have a Sinful Colors darker brown. So these are what I'm considering to be the neutral polishes. And basically how to pair these, pretty much anything goes with a neutral, but the one thing to kind of keep in mind is undertones. And then I'm also going to add a silver and a gold for neutrals. So anything pretty much goes with a neutral. The only thing I like to consider is undertones. I think even if undertones are off, it's still going to go for the most part. But I like to keep sort of my warms together and my cools together. And I will show you what I mean with that. So especially with like the silver. So silver is the more cool toned of the metallics, and gold would be the more warm tone of metallics. So I would pair silver with like a cooler toned pink. So this is OPI's Indefinitely Baby with Sinful Colors Heavy Metal. Both of these polishes have a very cool undertone, and I think that makes them work together. I have this Ultra 3 polish here that is called General Mustard. These work, but I wouldn't personally pair those together because this is so warm compared to the coolness of that. It works because silver goes with anything, but for me personally, like that's not a combination I would put together. But if you're going to talk about this with the gold, I think that that goes better. So this is Zoya Ziv, and this just complements each other better in my opinion. Of course, you guys are free to do whatever you want, but I think that works better. And then you can kind of see the gold here with like a cooler toned blue. It works, but this isn't a combination I would put together. I just think personally this blue would look better with the silver, keeping with the undertones. So that's kind of what I'm talking about with undertones there. So I'm going to show you some of these polishes just sort of combined. I don't really think I need to show you white and black. I think these go with anything warm, cool. It doesn't matter. These are like the most neutral of the polishes because they don't have undertones at all. So these will go with anything. So this color is more of a like cooler toned neutral, and I personally would pair this with a blue. So I was telling you how like things you find in nature are good inspiration. This sort of reminds me of like a sandy beach with the ocean. So this is a combination you would see in nature, sand, water, and it works. So I think this looks really nice together. This is a great combination and kind of unexpected. Another combination that you would see in nature using this brownish shade would be like that with this green. This has Ugly Bottle Syndrome. This is Stay Off the Lawn from OPI. And this is Sinful Colors Nirvana. But basically think of like a tree bark and then the leaves of the tree. This combination works together really well also because, again, it's a combination found in nature. And then you could always trade out this lighter brown for a warmer toned brown. The combination still works. You still have the green leaves, the brown bark, and it also works again with this. So you can kind of think of like sandy beach with water. That combination still goes. Another found in nature combination is like flowers. So you can go with green and yellow. You can have like a daisy with the green stem and leaves. That combination works well together. The green works with pink, like if you think of a rose or like a carnation, the pink with the green. The pink would be the flower, the green would be the stem. So that works as well. Blue sky, yellow sun, that works together. So if you're really trying to find something, like look to nature, look to the things that like God has already put together that work, and you will have no problem finding combinations that way. Another thing I'm going to show you is like a tonal look. This kind of stuff looks really nice when you combine. And if you don't want to do all creams, you could even like slip in a glitter for one of these colors, or you could always add yourself like a silver because these are more cool toned pinks. This is a little warmer because it is more of like a magenta type color, but the silver works with it, and I mean the gold works with it too. I would just personally pair it with silver. But this is Super Cute in Pink from OPI, Look at My Bow from OPI, and the Indefinitely Baby from OPI. So this is more of a tonal look, and that will always look nice together. And then I have another tonal look for you. These are all kind of like teal Sally Hansen's. These will all work really well together because they're sort of similar in tone. So this one is Teal Therapy, Mint Spirit, and Jade Jump. So that's another combination there. And again, you don't have to go with all creams. Like this would look really nice with the silver polish. And I think this would also look really nice with a gold polish. Then this gray I pulled is a little bit sort of blue leaning gray. So to me, this is more of a cool toned gray. So I would pair this more with a cool toned color. So again, this pink is cool toned. That's a beautiful look there. This teal is cool toned. That's a great combination there. The yellow's a little more warm toned, but I feel like with this shade it does work. But then opposed to a warm toned, I would not pair that together. So to me, this is more like pleasing to the eyes than that. So that's kind of what I mean by warm and cool toned. So let's say we were to add in this brown. So this brown has a little bit more red in it, so it's more warm toned. I prefer this look together because this is more warm toned than this yellow with this brown. They all work because it's neutral, but this is my preference for a combination there. And then I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the navy blue. So navy blue is a neutral for clothes. And I think it works as a neutral for polish as well. I think it goes with almost anything. Here you can see it with this blue, you're getting a little bit of a tonal look there, but not exactly because the undertones of these colors are different, but it still works. I think this looks gorgeous with this sort of like yellowish green. Navy blue and pink is a very beautiful combination. Navy blue with the teal, that looks amazing. Navy blue with the darker teal, I think that's really pretty. I like navy blue with silver, but I think navy blue also works with gold. So I think that you could pair that type of look together and that would be really, really nice. So that's a little background of how I come up with some color combinations. This color wheel that I showed you guys has some other combination suggestions here. Here it's going with like a warm color sort of combo there. You can see that they're pairing the red, the orange, and the yellow, which again, like I told you guys, are adjacent colors on the color wheel. Here they're doing a cool color combo, which is adjacent colors on the color wheel. Then they have a warm color with cool accents. So basically what they're doing here is they're going for all of the warm colors, which are adjacent, and then they're picking an opposite, which is complementary. And that looks really nice together. So that's a way to add like an interesting pop. Then they do a cool color with warm accent. So they're coming here and they're gathering all of these colors that are adjacent and they're going for a complementary color opposite of the color wheel. So that's another good way there. Here's and tints or shades of red. So that's kind of what I was showing you here with the like ombre effect, is basically like a tonal form of one color. That always works because it just, you know, the colors are similar. Then they have a split complementary color here. So basically what they're doing is they're going across the color wheel and gathering some colors. So there they have the purple and yellow and the orange. So they're kind of doing like a little bit of like a one color and then two opposites. So since these two go together, that works, and then they pick one complementary color. So that's what they're doing there. This is Analogous colors. Oh, I hate that I can't pronounce that for you guys. But basically they picked these colors here, which are adjacent to each other on the color wheel. Tints and shades of blue, which was another tonal effect, like basically adding white to a base color to get sort of like a ombre effect. So I hope you guys found this interesting. I was really excited to film it. I was trying to fall asleep one night and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna get paint chips and I'm just gonna talk about colors. So if you guys have any questions about color combinations or any more stuff about the color wheel, let me know. I will link this color wheel that I had in the video. I'll try and put the link to this color wheel thing here on the description box, because I feel like it has a lot of really good information in case you're new to color wheels and colors and how all that works. So that'll be down below. And let me know how you guys come up with your color combinations. Do you look to nature? Do you do complementary colors? Are you more of an analogous, whatever color person? Do you stick to like keeping warm tones and cool tones together? Do you use a lot of neutral polishes and metallics? Like, what's your go-to when it comes to combinations? And again, all of these things will also work with glitters. I didn't really talk about glitters so much or toppers so much, but I'll give you one example of that just to show you. So this would be sort of like a tonal effect with a glitter. So this is the darker color, this is the lighter color. They're in a similar tone. So these two would look really, really nice together, because this is so dark that this pops off it, and they're in similar tones. Another combination I would do with this glitter is I would put it over a gray, because gray is a neutral. This glitter would be gorgeous over a black or a white, because those are both neutrals as well. I think this would be beautiful over the navy blue, because it's almost black, but it's a little bit more interesting than a black. So you do get that pop, but it's an interesting combination. So this works because this brown is a neutral and this is, you know, so these go together too, and you'll still get the pop because this color is really, really dark. And then again, shades found in nature. So this could be like your flower analogy. You have your stem and then you have your petals and stuff that would be in this shade. And you could even do it in a little bit darker of a teal, but same effect. Sort of like your stem and then your petals. So think of like colors of a flower for glitter. You know, pinks, yellows, all of that would go really nice with greens. And again, you can always refer back to your color wheel for complementary colors or colors that are next to each other, and it should always work. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't ramble on too long. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment box down below. And that is it for this video. If you liked it, please make sure to click the like button down below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. And thanks you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.